All right, it's good morning, Anambra, and we're here to look at the looming economic crisis, reducing the costs of governance. Everybody in Nigeria today will agree with me that things are not the way they used to be economically. You can talk to a child and the child will tell you how it is to go and buy bread for tea in the morning, and the food stuff is not helping matters. Eventually everything in the country, and we are asking the question in the minds of Nigerians how possible it is to reduce the cost of governance, and even when it is reduced, is it going to cushion the effect of economics burden on the average Nigerian? These are more questions yearning for answers on the show this morning. My name is Nonye Mwokoye.
And I'm Ajimchuku Okabwe.
All right, in the show this morning we have Kanayo Obidibo joining us to look at the topic. Good to have you in the studio.
Thank you, and good morning.
We also have Simon Nwafo Ezoforma. You're welcome to the studio, sir.
Good morning.
They're our viewers and the Anambra.
All right, now, Kanayo, let me begin with you. How would you, what's your assessment of the economic situation of Nigeria today?
Well, thank you very much. This is a good conversation because the economy of this country, we all know from the cost of living. No matter who the person is at, even the level of the village level, everybody find out that our economy is actually dwindling. And it's as a result of fiscal irresponsibility of our leaders. We met recession. It's not wrong for a country to be in recession, but it is always a lesson for them to come back and make sure that it doesn't repeat. However, Nigeria has been, in and out of whether proper recession or quasi-recession or call it austerity. So, but at the same time, it appears that our leaders are not really doing the right thing. The debt management office are there, the budget office are there, the planning. We have good Nigerians, but our problem remains that each time a policy is formulated, Nigeria along the line, and they have forgotten that this is what put Italy, Greece, and some other countries, brought them to their knees, and they have not actually come out of that recession or economic woes. And Nigeria is every day exercising into economic radicalism, because I find out from even the ministers, when we do have a good minister, that we look at our physical position and say, this is what it means, this is what it is. When our governor was at the central bank, he looked at the proliferation of banks and said, no, let us consolidate. Consolidation so that our currency will have value. Today, our currency doesn't even have value. And how do we come out of it? A monoproduct country, the only country that...
All right, we'll still get there. We'll still get there one at a time. Okay. And now, you've actually touched a lot of things at the same time. But looking at the public debt that is standing at 95.8 billion in 2021, or about 22.5% of the GDP. How do you see Nigeria coming out from the mess it's already in economically?
Thank you very much. Just as my colleague said, I was about to say, even it doesn't require in-depth analysis or it's only a blind man that will not see the position of Nigeria now and see the handwriting on the wall. So it's very unfortunate that we find ourselves in this place. Just as he mentioned, it occurred to my mind when our governor was the central bank governor, how he consolidated, how he saved the people from having failed banks and so on and so forth and losing their distance. And at the same time, Okonjo-Iweala was among the ministers. The Obasanjo used that opportunity. I'm coming to your question. Simply, you see that Obasanjo tried, and they brought and they made the foreign nations we owe to erase our debts. Now, this present administration had gone far in accumulating the debts, to the extent that this time I was discussing with somebody. I said, please, this thing I'm doing for you is not to pay your debt, but to service it, because it is a normal thing in Nigeria now. When you have accumulation of debts that you cannot, it will just be servicing. So what we are doing in Nigeria right now, all the money we are realizing, our economy is just servicing the debts. Not.
Have we stopped borrowing?
We are accumulating debts more, and then just all the resources, all our economy put together, just to be servicing. Who then will pay the debts? It's a very unfortunate situation. It calls for.
That's the question you just asked. Who then will pay the debt? Now we're entering a new dispensation, come 2023, and the accumulation of this debt that we have now, and without no plan by this present administration to service this debt or to bring Nigeria out of this looming crisis, what then do we expect come 2023?
Thank you very much. That is why many of us are praying. As you see now, I am not tied to, I don't have any particular, but many of us are praying for better tomorrow. Like some person, like somebody, I was watching the NBA, this conference the other day, when the major players in the political scene were invited. And the people, the intellectual, the enlightened people, listening to them, what the plans they have for our nation. And one of them had been known to have said that he wants to transform Nigeria from consumptive economy to productive economy. That is where you see people who have a vision. And in that case, if we are able to do that, like China, like Japan, like some of these nations, then that is the first step. The second step to your question is, maybe the government will have a bold step to call some of these people who brought us to this place to answer. Let them show what they did that brought us to this situation. Because somebody is responsible for certain things. Somebody caused it.
But it is as simple as this. When we are looking forward to a monoproduct of the oil that generates revenue, foreign exchange, and we are producing below OPEC quota. Not only that, 400,000 is being stolen, or is being taken away. Even at that, and who are those big players? I remind you, the presidency is the minister of oil.
The minister of petrol. That's why.
So, okay, now there is this saying: "There is no smoke without fire," and something don't just happen. We are coming from somewhere. We hope to get to somewhere tomorrow. Along the line, we are seeing ourselves in a situation like this today. Yeah. What do you think, or where do you think we missed it along the way? What are the causes of this economic crisis?
Thank you. Because there are no consequences when there are infringements by civil servants, government officials. No consequences. And it emboldens others that after somebody must have been caught with several billions of naira, or he has misappropriated several billions of naira, and nothing happens to him. Then they become emboldened. And you find out that the Nigerian people are richer than the state. For oil theft to be syndicated, it must be within it's not me and you, You can't steal oil, I can't steal oil, you can't steal oil. Because it takes quite a number of, arrangements. Before a ship moves, a tanker moves from anywhere in the world, it's registered with the Lloyd's Insurance, and it comes into our territorial water. Our navies are there. Is it not a shame that a tanker that took oil out of Nigeria was caught in Gabon by some other country, and we have our navy? And today,
they cross border.
Yes, a non-state actor is given the contract to do what? To police our water. Reasons, because he has the capability, which means he is better than the security operatives we have within our territorial water. So it is a shame. How do we come out of it? We are not coming out of it because another Mabulundize.
Let me comment.
Okay.
I think it's in order. But in my own mind, the major cause of this situation is putting a round peg in a square hole. People are not placed in the proper. We are not emphasizing on, just as somebody said, productive economy. We are not emphasizing on people who can do who fit the position. That we are really interested in corruption. That is putting nepotism, just as somebody said, said this. There has never been any government that is so nepotistic and parochial like this one. So what I'm saying is, that is number one. Secondly, that is attached to corruption. How can you, just as you said, I was listening the other day, I nearly cried that Angola and which other?
Libya. They have taken over.
Look at Angola. I knew the time Angola discovered oil.
Yeah.
I knew the time.
And
just a few years ago, small Angola, that maybe Eastern Nigeria, Libya. Yes, Libya, you can say from the time of Gaddafi, they were producing oil. But how can they overtake Nigeria in production? So Nigeria is now, and we are not even meeting up our quota.
That's unfair.
Somebody cost it. Then how can you explain that up to this moment, Nigeria is no functional refinery? We will be export crude and then import fuel. Look at the price of fuel. These are corruption. People are supposed to be held responsible for it. So finally, so what I'm saying, number one, is to put the proper persons. Look at our education system. Look at where we are. Do you think now that this will not have effect on the economy? Like people who are supposed to graduate, maybe tomorrow they will do maneuver them and they produce them as graduates.
And the worst thing then, is that we are the only country at this Russian-Ukraine war with the oil boom all over the world that are not making.
That is the point.
Making economic as we speak now. Nigeria, only Nigeria. Is it not a shame? That has to explain that we have a failed state.
What you're saying is, apart from the economic looming crisis we are having now, is government, the will of government to tackle their own expenses, because the cost of governance in Nigeria could be part of the reasons why you're equally having this economic crisis, because Nigeria seems to be one of the most expensive democracies in the world. Yeah. If you tackle this area, is it going to in any way impact on the economy of Nigeria?
Of course, yes. You see, even organizations, companies, downsizes. When they look at what is happening within the company, they downsize. They do what? They lay off people.
So where would this downsizing start? Because these are elected
the downsizing must start from our National Assembly. Have you looked at their take home? Look at the take home of National Assembly. 360 persons and 109 persons are taking home a huge amount of money that will service 5 states home on monthly basis. So when it was like that in Saudi Arabia, the ministers themselves said, cut our salaries so that we will pick up. In Saudi Arabia, that was about 4 years ago. So now we are talking about salary increase. And the budget office said, no, there should be no salary increase. What are you increasing? On this inflation, we know what Udoji happened when Udoji came. We saw what Udoji did to us. So, like you rightly said, we have to start from these government department agencies. There are too much duplication of offices in Nigeria. And as a result of that, the cost of governance in Nigeria is the most expensive in the whole world. I'm telling you that our governor earned more than an American president. Oh yes, but because they have put in themselves, there are some of these ex-governors that are now in the National Assembly being paid their take home, being paid what they call severance, whatever it is, and today they are taking all the constituency allowance, paid several kind of allowances. Governors, 22 of them in National Assembly as we speak.
All right. We hold it there. The program is still Good Morning Anambra, looking at the looming economic crisis, reducing the cost of governance. What's the possibility of achieving this? We take a break here to bring you the views of the people. The program returns shortly. Do join us again.
If the amount should be reduced in our various legislative houses, I think that very particular money will be used to alleviate the suffering of the masses. We start to get a lot of things like in the education sector, people will an effective education system in the country, even in health facilities, in road construction. Like these days, when you go to various, let's say, there's no road network, especially here in Anambra State. A lot of places, you see a lot of things that are happening. So if such money had been reduced or supplied for the governance, I think it will reduce a lot of things. And our people will start, the children will start to go to school, the health facility will be equipped, the road infrastructure will be maintained, and such will help in alleviating the suffering of the masses.
The cost of governance is too high in Nigeria. So many ministries, so many MDAs, so many agencies. You can see different agencies doing a particular job. For instance, ICPC and EFCC. You find out it's two different agencies, but they are doing the same thing about anti-corruption. These are supposed to work, and so many others. So all these are, all of them increase the height of governance in Nigeria.
If the cost of governance is reduced, then you have more money to help the poor people. You have more money to build what the people need, because the cost of governance takes more of the total revenue generated. So how much do you pay house? How much does the governor take? How much do you use to buy fuel for the convoy of a governor and deputy governor? These are wastes. Okay? When you cause the cost, you see, when you cause the cost, and they have significant costs. So if you cause the cost, you now use that money from there, and they put in other spare of activities, and that will help the people.
If it's like the money politicians earn in Nigeria and used to fund education, Nigeria will be a better place to be. The issue of running to abroad will not exist. Agriculture is suffering here. So when you slide this money and channel it to other sectors, it will make Nigeria grow. So it will not be like this. So it have a lot to do. Slashing the money have a lot to do with the growth of the economy. Thank you.
Welcome back to the program. It's still a looming economic crisis, reducing the costs of governance. Is there any possibility? And when that happens, what do we stand to gain? I will still having Kanayo Obidibo and Simon Nwafo as a former in the studio. And now, let's look at the issue of reducing the cost of governance. The other day, I was watching a clip where the former First Lady of the United States of America, that's Obama, was talking about how they fund what they give to their visitors. That if anybody visits the White House, what the person will eat will come from their pockets, in their individual pockets, and not government pocket, and a whole lot of things, about governance. In our case, it's not the same. It's like everything is coming out from the government purse. Just like he has talked about their take home on a monthly basis, their allowances here and there. And this reducing the cost of governance, the call to reduce the cost of did not start today. You know, I don't know, how else do you think we can talk about it that they will hear and yield to it? Do we think there is a possibility of reducing the cost of governance in Nigeria?
Nothing is impossible in this world. There is a possibility, but the only thing is that people must be willing to take the bull by the horns. Just as I'm coming. That's why some of us are happy. The social or political revolution that is there. You can see that even the commonest of the commons is now feeling it. And people are no longer happy.
All right, let's welcome this caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome to the show. Your name and your location, please.
This is Tokandu, calling from Ghana.
You're welcome.
Good. If we want to achieve our economic stability, we should scrap Senate and House of Assembly. We have this geographical zone in Nigeria. We should have its representative for every place to control its resources and pay little tax to federal government for external aggression. With that, everybody will develop with competition. Before you know it, if by 6 months to 1 year, Nigeria is not changed. If I pay you good money, believe it to be nice. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Tokandu, for your contribution.
Like you rightly asked, how do we? And he said the willpower of the people. It's not the people. It's from policy formulators. Reason. The big players are in the government. They should come up with programs. First of all, like I rightly said, National Assembly should be downsized. Downsizing it, the whole of America, as wide as America is, it is only 2 senators and even some smaller states 1. Look at how many senators we have, how many House of Rep members we have. You see, and their take home is fantastic. Whether we like it or not, it is a no that a government. All right.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. I'm coming from Zamfara State.
Zamfara, your name, please.
My name is Andrew. I'm from Zamfara State.
Okay, welcome, Andrew. Go ahead.
Yeah, what I would like to contribute to the issue of governance is that resolution is the language our government do here. You see that tax and some of tax, they stop money from us in Anambra State. They will quite cut you, just to transfer your money to the account. Now, my suggestion is that we should take up with the government and show them that we are killing it. So I suggest we should go on revolution as it happens in other African countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, I have not finished.
Okay.
When I said people, I'm not saying that but if people now realize that if you don't, just like I was analyzing the pronunciation and the American independence, it says God created all men equal and he gave them certain inalienable rights. Among them, right to life, liberty, and happiness. And the people by themselves choose to elect government. And any government once elected, which doesn't fulfill this obligation, will be destroyed and replaced with another. That is the basis of any government. So when people realize that, then they will look for leaders who are accountable, who are tested and trusted and proven. Now, the leader, knowing that people are now aware, must play to the destiny. The sizing the destiny is important. Then the leaders then will work to satisfy the yearnings of the masses, not doing it as like. Even this government, I'm telling you, I don't have any more, because they are just going. And it's only when you have the knowledge of how something will be done. Look at, if in a Senate class, when a minister doesn't perform, when you have, when you disappoint the people, you will resign. You will be resigned. But here, the armed forces, the security chiefs will not. And then people will be calling, nothing. Okay, look at now the INEC issue, the reg, putting people with the card on. Do you think that when they get there, they will play the ball, the game according to the rules? They will dance to the masters who put them there. That corruption continues. So what I'm saying, it is for the policy makers. But when they see that people are checking them and the people are no longer ready to tolerate nonsense, they will be very careful.
Do you know the irony? The irony.
Let's answer the
Okay.
Get back to you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. I just was Anambra.
You're welcome. Your name and your location, please.
Dan, I'm calling from Audi State.
Dan, you're welcome.
My name is Daniel.
We heard you.
Yes, we said Dan, welcome. Daniel, welcome.
I'm calling from Audi State, Azare.
You're welcome.
What I wanted to contribute in this matter, obviously you people are doing very wonderful job.
Thank you.
You people are doing very wonderful job. But the thing is that the hearer, are they hearing all these messages at all? Every day, people will come and proclaim messages to the country. And the insecurity is getting worse. The hardship is getting worse. In fact, what I'm suggesting is if it will be possible, let the soldiers come and take over. And the soldiers that will take over to do what the did in Ghana, to eliminate all the bad eggs, the leftover, to live comfortable. Instead of every day killing. Whenever you go newspaper or television, you will not see anything advertising you to stay. It takes a bad deal. So, thank you for your information to the board, but you people are doing very good. But if the hearers are not doing anything,
Thank you. Thank you very much, Daniel.
I was rightly saying, you talked about the people, yes. We have observed sensitization. People have demonstrated political followership. But do you undermine that there is hunger in the land? Hunger. Like you said in America, an average American is fed, no matter how small, on daily basis. But in Nigeria, there's no social security. There is no unemployment benefit, and you are now faced with hunger, and these big boys that are hawking their manifestos we have never seen, telling you that when you vote me I will do this, I will do that, and they will never. How do you recall them? There are a few things that are in the Electoral Act that I cannot even practice because it will not be allowed by them. Look at the manipulation with the voters register. That alone would have made the chairman to resign.
Coming to this,
yes.
In my own opinion, I think when you want to talk about reducing the cost of governance, don't you think that the first point of contact should be the Constitution? The people that you're talking about downsizing, are they not the people that would now work on the Constitution and know if actually this is where our problem lies? What's your take on that?
Okay, now, somebody used to tell me, yes, when you set an exam for yourself, you will pass. You see, and the way Nigerians are is that we have thrown patriotism overboard. Nobody thinks of his neighbor. No consideration. Otherwise, what you have just said about looking at the Constitution, haven't we been talking about structural? We are talking about a structural, and it will affect the Constitution. And you will find out that when a legislation is made or thrown open for other state legislators to do what? To marry it. You find out that some of these governors goes there to breach it. And they are breaching it because the people are not politically aware. But today, people are becoming more politically aware. You can see the movement that even this sit at home, because the worst sit at home is the students. They are sitting at home for 7 months now. And these are people who are lettered. And I'm using this opportunity to talk to them. When there is bad government anywhere in the world, it is the youths, the younger ones. They say no. Because, like you rightly said, who are going to pay this debt that's been accumulated? Who are going to suffer this bad governance? We, our children.
Majorly, how do you think this cost of governance could be reduced? You've talked about downsizing. What's the major thing that needed to be done to reduce the cost of governance in Nigeria? And when we do that, what do we stand to gain?
As he said, number one is that political will. Maybe if we have people who have conscience at the helm of affairs, maybe they will think of amending certain sections of the Constitution. Like now, like we say take home allowances, this and
People that are there now.
no, that's what
most laws we see are the things that benefit them. So how do you think they're going to do it?
That is why I said, you see why I started with the people being aware. And some people are calling for revolution, but I will not come here and say revolution. But that social revolution, political revolution. We saw in the clip the other time, some people, a woman was offered money in voting. She said, no, take your money. So when people, you see what is happening now. I was hearing yesterday, when people get this consciousness, they will know the people to be voted in. That is people who have conscience, people who are tested and trusted. Just as we are saying now, if a governor will come and analyze that I have only 3 or 4 aides, I am not traveling with this and that. Then another governor in the other place is doing what he likes, having 24. Do you think the people will not react? The people will say, why are we wasting time? Even the demonstration of the people is enough to check that governor. And they, just like students blocked the road the other day. When people start taking steps like NLC, civil liberties organizations, they start taking steps, everybody will be on the check. Those at the helm of affairs will be very careful. It's not this present one that I'm talking of, but when the right people are voted in, people who have conscience, they will know that these people will react. Just as somebody mentioned in NSAS. NSAS have been doing what they like.
All right, our time is fast spent, but we need to nip this topic. What do you think we stand to get? What will be the resultant effect of reducing the cost of governance? What are the effects on the economy? Do you think it's going to change anything?
Of course, yes. Who will not? If you are somebody who plans your budget and you put some amount of money on drinking every day and eventually you stop drinking, you find that money is saved for some other, something. Therefore, if Nigeria is, put a holistic approach to our current situation of borrowing, when we are not productive, we are not servicing the debt. So governance, like we have been talking about, must be reduced. A PA cannot have SA cannot have PA, PA have SA,
Okay, we can go on and on. We are sorry, our callers, we can no longer pick calls because our time is fast spent here and we need to leave the stage. But we'd like to appreciate in no small measure Kanayo Obidibo and Simon Wafo as a former. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you, the Anambra and all our viewers. Let us continue to have hope that God will eventually give us right leaders.
Thank you, and that's what we can take today. It's been a pleasure.
All right, my name is Nonya Nwokoye. Thank you so much. Let's do this again tomorrow. Bye for now.